Horse deserving of his titles this year. He had a terrific year.
All right. Speaking of terrific, Goldie Cova, that the world class and mare for the ages, was just superb, winning her second consecutive Breeders' Cup Mile race, or Filly Mare Turf, excuse me, out at Santa Anita. And what can you say? I think she was a deserving winner in a category where she was the mile winner, in fact, in a category where you had a lot of firepower and some talented horses.
She's a wonderful horse, and in some ways, she was a deserving winner this year. You feel like she got a little bit of a conglomeration of the 2 years, having won this race last year. But one of the reasons she won, and this is not a criticism of her because she is a truly, truly tremendous horse, is there was no outstanding horse in that division this year because Forever Together just lost a little step from last year, as much as we like her, and Goldie Cova, a deserving winner.
And Freddie Head, a side note, winning jockey with Mies back-to-back years in the mile, and then trained Goldie Cova to back-to-back mile wins, a record that may never be broken there. All right. Champion Sprinter. Next to Horse of the Year, I thought this was the most trickiest division, where I thought the voting was going to be a lot closer than it was. And, you know, having watched Kodiak Cowboy run here in New York, and he won some major Grade 1 stakes, including the Carter and the Cigar Mile, the Hillendale Cigar Mile, he was a horse I just thought, hands down, deserved to be Champion Sprinter.
Yeah, we've had this discussion on this show before and during the shows we do during the day. What he did this year, he really does deserve it. And here we go back to the Carter early in the year, and I think this is one of our first broadcasts, about our first on MSG Plus for the Wood Memorial and Carter. He made this big run. Now, Fabulous Strike was probably best this day. And Kodiak Cowboy got it done because of the pace, because of the 7 furlongs. But, you know, when he turned the tables and he won the 6 furlong Vosburg against Fabulous Strike, mud or not, I think he really showed his worthiness. He won the Grade 1 Vosburg, the Grade 1 Carter, the 2 biggest sprints we run here. He was second in the Forego, and he won the Grade 1 at a mile, Cigar Mile, at the end of the year. Now, a lot of people will say, I don't think that counts as sprint race. Well, I recall Pico Central losing sprint champion a few years ago because he lost the Cigar Mile. So if you can lose it because you lose a race, you can win it because you win that race.
Yeah, the one-turn mile, whether a sprint or a route, whatever your opinion, that's a debate for another time. But they got the right sprint champion. It wasn't even close. I mean, he blew Sensational off the bloating back there. Yeah, and no doubt about it. Anyway, getting on to a Hall of Fame trainer, Jonathan Shepard. He's had some major horses over the last couple of seasons, going back to 2008 with his Filly Mare Turf winner, Forever Together. He also had a synthetic specialist this season in Informed Decision.
Yeah, you're right about Jonathan Shepard. He had a great year. Informed Decision was, I mean, the synthetics, she was built for the synthetics. I mean, her only sort of subpar race was in the mud in the Ballerina at Saratoga, where she was third, her only New York appearance. But here she is, taking advantage of her natural speed and the fact there was a slow pace and beating Ventura, a filly a lot of people thought could have been a champion a couple of years and just sort of missed out on it. But she's a very, very nice horse. The second place finisher.
Ventura.
Ventura,
you got it right.
Okay, I was a little confused. Informed Decision, though, a terrific horse.
Okay, and regarding the 2-year-old male champion, I got to say, perhaps post and bad racing luck. Those variables, you know, were against Looking at Lucky in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race. He just lost to Vale of York, a huge long shot in a tight photo finish. He followed it up with a Grade 1 win to cap his season for Bob Baffert, and I guess this was one everybody expected Looking at Lucky to be crowned 2-year-old champion, and he deserved it hands down.
Oh, he absolutely did deserve it, hands down. He's a very nice horse who had just a terrific record. When you see the races that he won out in California, he just did everything he had to do. And as you said, a tough trip probably cost him the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. It'll be interesting to see what he does this year because he hasn't run in the dirt. Now, maybe he'll be better in the dirt like the horse I Want Revenge from California last year, or maybe like Pioneer of the Nile. He's not going to be a horse that wants to run in the dirt. We'll see. I wish him the best of luck. He's a nice horse.
Okay, and regarding the champion 2-year-old fillies, no surprises again. Breeders' Cup winner She Be Wild was crowned 2-year-old filly champion last Monday. I was a little disappointed. Hot Dixie Chick, who was just so brilliant and so fast and so professional, winning both the, I guess it was the Schuylerville and Spinaway upstate at Saratoga, that she never ran after the Spinaway.
Right. She could well have been the best 2-year-old filly we saw this year, but she couldn't have won the award because unlike this horse, She Be Wild, she didn't get it done when it mattered. And it was really a contest between the second place finisher in this race and She Be Wild as to who's going to win, because that horse came back to win the Starlet Hollywood and win it impressively. But ultimately, She Be Wild, because of her victory in this race, got the award. It was more of a Breeders' Cup situation. They both could have been deserving, but She Be Wild is in herself a deserving winner. winner, and we hope we see them back, and we do hope we see one hot Dixie chick back.
And I've got to think we're going to see a number of the Eclipse Award-winning humans involved in New York over the next few months. Certainly going to Saratoga, beginning with jockey Julien Leparoux, he joined a very small and select group of guys that were named champion apprentice and champion journeyman rider, and there he is. And the bug rider, unfortunately, rides out in Southern California. We don't see too much of him in the Big Apple.
No, we're not familiar with Christian Santiago Reyes, for sure. Julien Leparoux we are familiar with. Of course, he beat Garrett Gomez and Ramon Dominguez, and Julien was a very deserving winner, no doubt about it, having won a lot of stakes and money. But I think around here, we're big Ramon Dominguez fans, and we're looking forward to maybe Ramon winning that title, and deservedly so some year. Not to take anything away from Julien Leparoux, who deserved it, but Ramon had a tremendous year winning every title in New York.
Pure domination here on this circuit against the toughest jockey colony in the world. And regarding a champion trainer, another Eclipse Award for Steve Asserson, who over the last 3 seasons has trained 3 consecutive Horse of the Years. Curlin had back-to-back titles, and obviously Rachel was crowned Horse of the Year. And Steve Asserson, a guy with a far-flung operation, and it's an operation that has 4 claimers based out in the Midwest, and then the best horses in the world here in New York and in Kentucky.
Yeah, and what was really nice about this year was that Steve gave the award to Scott Blasi, his assistant in New York, and that was a really nice moment in the Eclipse Awards to see Steve recognizing Scott, who worked so hard for him and does such a very, very good job. It was nice to see him win. And you mentioned Jonathan Shepard earlier, a man who had the kind of year with a lot less horses where he could have won an award, but Steve certainly deserved it.
Okay, let's look at champion owner and breeder and 2 familiar fixtures regarding that. Godolphin Racing, the top owner. I mean, here in New York, especially at Saratoga, and you know, we were talking about it every day because you had to. It was so relevant. They went on that Grade 1 tear upstate, and what can you say about Juddmonte Farms as the top breeder?
Yeah, well, Juddmonte Farms has just been a great name in breeding and running in this country, of course, and they're very much linked here to Bobby Frankel. And when Bobby passing away this year, it's nice to see Juddmonte remembered during this year's ceremony. And Godolphin, it felt like you could have woken up from your sleep at Saratoga last summer and just said, the first thing you would have said was, Godolphin won the stake yesterday, because they just won it every day.
Well, there you go. There was 2009, our little crash course in the Eclipse Awards. That was fun, but we're not done.